The days are getting shorter and the kids are back in school.
But we are still out on the town looking for adventures. Welcome to Talk of the Town, everyone.
We have an exciting show this month. We find a club for you and your canine pal. It's all about the nose.
Plus, the town of Jim Thorpe boasts some beautiful Victorian homes. We take a peek inside and let you know how you can do the same.
Too busy to make a nutritious dinner? Door-to-door dinners in Stroudsburg can help. We'll make a sample dinner and tell you all about it.
We talk about some kids' dreams, some that have come true, others that will very soon, and a United Dream Ride that will make it happen.
Local high school marching bands have been practicing and practicing. We visit a local high school to see how their band show comes together before it hits the football field.
But we start by celebrating a furry and friendly animal popping up at more and more local farms, the alpaca.
Our destination, a mountaintop in effort, the Pohopoco Creek Alpaca Farm.
I have 31 alpacas here, 19 girls and 11 boys. I raise them for their fleece, and also I breed and sell the animals themselves to people who either want to start their own farm and raise them and also breed them, or if they just want to raise them for fiber animals because they're into the textiles, or they want the fleece for yarn.
It's so thick. It's really thick.
And they're thick, yeah.
It does just feel like a blanket. Mm-hmm. Completely feels like a blanket on the back. But then to see the real color,
You go
you
down
can see
there.
how white it is underneath.
And that's you can see the dust line.
Dust line.
And all that comes out, in a little soap and water.
Yeah. We could call her Pigpen.
It is 5 times warmer than wool. It is very lightweight. It has no barbs on it. When you look under a microscope, wool has barbs on it.
Why everybody says it's itchy?
Yep. Sheep's wool also has lanolin in it. This has no lanolin, so people are not allergic to it, and you don't get that oily feel. Mm-hmm. It wicks away moisture. It's odor resistant. It's also fire resistant.
Mary knows every one of her 31 alpacas by name. She introduced us to them and we were instant friends, thanks to our bag of carrots.
There are 2 breeds of alpacas. These are Wakayas.
So they're all the same, but their
right.
fleece is all individual.
And they are the ones that it grows out, and they look like teddy bears. The other kind that I do not have are Surreys, and they're the ones that you might see with very long fleece that hangs down. It parts in the middle of their back and hangs down. Uh-huh. And it's a very silky one. There are mischievous ones.
Yeah.
There are very shy ones. There is one that if you look at her cross-eyed, she will scream. And yet, if you have grain in your hand, she'll come over. That's okay.
All gone. All gone, no more carrots. The last weekend in September is National Alpaca Farm Days. You can stop by the Pohopoco Creek Alpaca Farm and have some fun getting to know all the alpacas.
The farm is open Saturday from 10 to 5, Sunday 11 to 4. People can come and go as they want. They get to meet the alpacas. They can feed them, we give them carrots. I'll have a couple hand spinners here to show people, what they do with the fleeces. They can come and ask questions. It's a hands-on experience for them.
This one is so sweet. She's just like,
She likes you.
I want to stand by you. I want to kind of lean on you a little.
What's that one's name?
That's American Woman.
Oh, she likes you, Ree.
I know, she's just like hanging out.
They come from the Andes Mountains, big concentration in Peru, and they have herds in the thousands. They use them for everything from meat to clothing, everything sort of like what we use our cows for, so they have very large herds. But they like the cold. They're high altitude animals. So right now we just watch for heat stress for them now.
Alpacas chew their cud in a figure 8.
They are modified ruminants. They have 3 stomachs, and they chew their cud like a cow would. You know, they bring up from their first stomach, and they sit there and they chew, and it's a figure 8 motion if you watch them. They have a full set of molars, though. They have teeth on the bottom, and they have a dental pad on the top, so they don't have teeth on the top. In the back, they have a full set of molars, though.
Alpacas are quiet animals, but if you listen, you can hear them hum.
Sometimes they do it when they're worried. We'll hear that a lot during herd health when I have them, you know, closed in the barn.
Changing of the routine,
Yeah,
what's
yeah.
going on.
And when they're spitting at each other, is that because they're annoyed with each other?
Pretty much. And they start out with an air spit, which is a warning, and it will graduate to bringing up
Stomach.
the stuff from their stomach, and that's the smelly, yucky stuff.
Can't come to an alpaca farm without helping to clean up.
Start raking the beans.
We even sell the manure. Because they're ruminants, they digest everything fully, so you don't have seeds in it, you know, because that's horrible when you put it on your garden and then you're weeding because of, you know, the fertilizer. It is a cold manure, so you can put it right on. It doesn't burn. You don't have to compost it. And we use it in the garden and have been really successful, and I'm starting to get people coming back to me and getting more and telling me that they really like it. So we use as much as we can from the animal.
Larry is the youngest alpaca in the herd. He's always running around trying to convince the other alpacas to play with him.
Hi, little Larry.
This is Larry.
Hi, Larry.
Hi, little Larry.
Oh,
and
he is so soft.
You haven't rolled in the mud enough.
How old is Larry?
Larry is 3 weeks old.
Aw, he's so cute.
Has he grown a lot in that 3
He
weeks?
has,
I take
yeah.
it.
Yeah, well, he's gained probably about 13, 14 pounds. And when they're born and they're like this size, they look like they're all legs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's always been very friendly. I have a 2-month-old here that you'll see, Nacho, and he's not as friendly. I can't get that close to him.
Yeah.
You know, not like I can with Larry.
Mary said it would be okay if we tried to hold him. I have a new friend. Even Zach couldn't resist our furry little friend.
Oh, Larry likes you.
All the alpacas except Larry have been shorn. This blanket came from Maria.
It's very soft. It doesn't have that oily feel. Right now you might feel the dirt.
No, and you know what? I'm surprised that it doesn't feel dirtier.
Well, this is the animal side.
This is the animal side. Now,
so that's the cleanest side.
Yeah. Now, if we look on the
There
other
you
side,
go.
you'll see this is the outside.
And that feels a little bit.
Yeah, it looks a little dirtier.
Yeah. And then once we wash it, it all separates and opens up.
Once the alpaca fiber is carefully washed, it's ready to be carded.
This is a drum carder, and we're going to feed the fleece into this side over here. This is called a liquor, this part of it. And it separates the fiber and ends up making it wraps it around this bigger drum, and it will straighten out the fiber.
Okay, so how much
So
do you put through?
pull it apart as much as you can, and then just lay it along here,
Okay, just like that?
just like that.
Okay.
And then this will push the fiber onto the drum. And go ahead, I'll get out of your way so you can maybe turn sideways. You kind of feed it in a little bit like that, okay?
And then just
some
keep
more,
going?
keep going.
You gotta
Yep.
keep going.
Sorry, I'm a little slow in my
It's
feeding.
okay.
Let's see what you got going there.
And if you want to take it off, just take your fingers and just, move it along
Start
like
moving
that.
it along.
And then it'll come off.
And then this is called a bat.
It's a bat, yeah.
During National Alpaca Farm Days, you'll have your shop open so people can come in and buy stuff. What kind of things do you sell in here?
Correct. We have lots of things. I have the famous alpaca socks, different styles. I have inserts that go in your boots and your shoes. I have, for the birds, we have nesting balls that you hang in the tree because the birds like the fiber, the alpaca fiber, and they'll pull it out.
Put it in their nests.
And they'll put it in their nests. I have dryer balls and hats and bags. That is an alpaca rug. And if you want to feel that, it is just wonderful to walk on.
Yeah.
And the other thing is the teddy bears over there, they feel like Larry.
So soft.
They're so cute. I bet
Yeah.
these are popular
They're
with
very
all the
popular.
kids.
Yep. And the adults.
And the adults, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's a serious.
Yeah.
Fluffy teddy bear. All right.
And that's it. And then I would roll it up
Kind
in a
of like
light
roll it.
bowl and put it in a plastic bag. Stuff it in there, and that's a bat.
And that's a bat.
And I'll weigh it, make sure it's an ounce before I sell it, but that's a bat.
Nice.
So we did something constructive today.
Yes,
Aside from cleaning up the poop.
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
National Alpaca Farm Days is set for September 26th and 27th. Mary Baxter from Pohopoco Creek Alpaca Farm invites everyone to come out and discover why alpacas are such great farm animals.
Still ahead on Talk of the Town, a great idea for eating healthy when you don't feel like cooking. One local restaurant has the answer.
When you're hungry, you no longer have to choose between something healthy or something quick.
Quench Cafe and Juice Bar in Stroudsburg has door-to-door dinners. It's like having your own personal chef.
We juice everything from scratch. Your smoothies are made from scratch. And in fact, it's a non-processed food zone. We don't use any processed foods here at all. Everything you eat here at Quench, with the exception of our breads that come from a wonderful bakery just outside of Jersey, it's made from scratch here on premises.
Tell us about your newest venture, door-to-door dinners.
Well, door-to-door dinners was created because a lot of our patrons would come in and complain that they're so tired when they get home, they don't have time to make a good meal, and then they go through the drive-through and they feel guilty. And they would say, oh, we wish we had something like Quench to have for dinner, but we're not open for dinners. And I would say, no dinners. We just decided, well, why don't we cook for you? You know, we'll do the shopping, the chopping, and the cooking for you, and that way you don't have to worry about it. So hence door-to-door dinners. Now, it's not necessarily that we take it from our door to your doors, but it goes from our door to your doors. We negotiate that part.
All right, Nicole, so what are we making today for door-to-door dinners?
Good. Well, today we're going to make a roasted cod with a warm tomato and olive tapenade. And cod is a cold water fish, which means it really promotes heart health. And we're just going to spoon one of those over both pieces.
Okay, so make it last.
Make it last, nice and saturated, and so yep. Oh, perfect. And Marie, you're going to just sprinkle a little bit of pepper over each of it. We're not putting salt on it because we're using olives in our tapenade, which are very salty. So we're going to put this in the oven at 450 degrees.
All right, our fish is in the oven. Now what do we do?
Okay, so now we're going to get started on our tapenade. So we've got some black cured olives here. We have some beautiful fresh sprigs of oregano. We have our capers, and we have our wonderful cherry tomatoes that came straight from the farm. Our philosophy with Quench and what we do at lunch, it just gets moved right over to dinner, where we don't use processed food. You're not going to get any fried foods. Everything is baked, broiled, or grilled, and it's done with the same attention to whole ingredients. And we differ from a lot of the other companies that are doing home foods because they send you all the ingredients. And I've tried it myself and it's fabulous, but I don't want to go home and chop and cook and wait for dinner. I want to go home and eat. So we've got all of our ingredients in, and we're going to put some shallots in. So this we're going to put over the fire. We're going to heat it up for about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be ready to have our roasted cod. So now we're going to do our spinach orzo. What we'd like to do, Marie, would you pour that in there for us and put about just a slightly less than a full spoon of olive oil in there? Would you like to tear some of those lettuce leaves, and we're just going to mix it in there. Again, everything is really fresh. The orzo was just cooked, regular packaged directions, and then we're just going to take fresh, lovely spinach. We're going to tear a few leaves, and then we're going to mix it in with our lovely orzo. And again, like you can add garlic if you like to this. I like to keep the flavors a little bit simpler because the fish and the olives, I don't really want to get anything that's going to fight with that too much. So maybe a little Parmesan if you like. We'll just finish this off. And we have a lovely spinach orzo.
That looks nice.
Most of our current patrons, they like to get 2 meals at a time. It shortens the trips that they have to make, and it doesn't really require them to figure out what they're going to do with the other 4 days worth of food. So the 2 day at a time really works well for a lot of our patrons. So they can go home and they can pick which one they want to eat that night and then heat it up and they're ready to go. And they don't have to feel guilty about their dinner anymore.
So everything's done, looks delicious.
Oh,
and
great.
This is just how it would come in door-to-door dinners, right?
Yes, if you order door-to-door dinners and this was on your menu, this is how it would look in your container, and it would be at your house just like this, so you can just dig right in.
We're going to.
No chopping or cooking or anything.
What does someone need to know to get started?
Well, if you would like to request our service, you would just email us. We send you a very brief questionnaire because we want to get to know, Marie, what kind of food do you want to eat? What do you eat like now, and how do you want that to be different? So we want to know your likes and dislikes, what you really want to get out of the service, if it's just convenience, if you want to lose weight, if you're maybe a diabetic or gluten-free. So when you send this questionnaire back in, we have all this information that now we can kind of tailor a menu to what you want.
This is delicious. A delicious dinner.
Oh, I'm so glad you like it. Great.
And we didn't have to cook it. We could have just called Nicole.
And it's healthy too.
What makes a meal healthy? Does it have to taste like cardboard? Absolutely not. It just shouldn't have a lot of things that our body cannot process. Right. Our body can't really process synthetic or like chemical-laden foods. Our body can process natural foods, which is what we do here at Quench.
Fresh, delicious, and no work for you. Door-to-door dinners is perfect for busy people who want to eat healthy foods.
Nicole has given us a $20 meal card to Quench Cafe and Juice Bar. Just find the proper photo in our September album on Facebook and tell us what you think you'd love about door-to-door dinners for your chance to win.
Next, the historic Jim Thorpe community opens its doors for a Victorian tour.
Have you ever driven through a town and thought, wow, what beautiful homes. I wish I could see what they look like on the inside.
Absolutely. And thanks to the Jim Thorpe Victorian Home and Garden Tour, some private homeowners are opening up their homes. So come on, let's have a sneak peek.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Blakesley Manor. That's my wife Janet, and I'm John Drury.
Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you. Come right on in.
Thanks for having us.
James Blakesley was the nephew of Asa Packer, and in that role, he assisted Packer in railroads and in the coal mining areas. This being brick and not precisely in the Market Square area survived the 1849 fire. We had a living room and a dining room in this old property, probably the first mansion along Broadway that's remaining since the beginning. We just thought it would be cool to have at least one room in here that looked a little bit Victorian. There are reproductions of Victorian things, maybe a few original pieces that are authentic. The rest of it is a conglomeration of things that we've collected over the last 61 years.
There are 20 beautiful homes on this self-guided tour.
Our next stop is the Walbert House.
We're always happy to show the house. We have people that come and knock on our door, and we take them through. So it happens regularly.
The place really hasn't changed too much since it was built by the Butler family in 1868. Previous owner, Walter Crick, who passed away at the age of about 97, didn't do too much to the house. He bought the house the day before they bombed Pearl Harbor, and I think he paid $750 for the thing. And nobody wanted a big house at that time. It was the end of the Depression. the house pretty much survived intact. And for instance, if you look at the two mirrors, one above the fireplace here, if you look at the mirror above the fireplace in the small parlor, and the pier mirror there, those were always in the house. As a matter of fact, when we took them down, the original wallpaper was behind the mirrors, and it's still there, as a matter of fact.
The fireplaces were decorative only. They were not actually working fireplaces. The fireplaces look like they're marble, but they're not. They're marbleized slate, which was, the family was modern and it was promoting the industries in the area. And one of the industries down in Slatington area was slate production. And so they, both of the fireplaces had that technique done to them. The windows, if you look at them here, they have jib doors on the bottom. They actually open up completely, and you can open the doors up at the bottom, and so they could walk in and out into the backyard.
Cool.
And obviously for entertaining.
This section of Jim Thorpe was once known as Millionaire Row.
Our next stop on the tour, the Broadhead Mansion.
Mary Lockhart married Asia Packer's son, Harry. So she more than likely grew up in this house. And then after that, it was the Broadheads. And the Broadheads added the back half of the house on, and it became the Broadhead Mansion then, because of the addition of all the rooms.
Because it was big enough to be called a mansion?
Yeah, now it was big. The Victorian chandeliers we added, because the original ones were sold off at an auction that this house had. So those chandeliers are from the 1880s. They were actually kerosene, but now they're electrified. The front staircase, that's my favorite part of the house. It goes up 3 floors, and there was a fella here. He was older. He said when he was a child, he would stay here with his aunt, and they would slide down the banister, and at the bottom of the banister you could see the little scratch marks where they rolled off the banister from their belt buckles. And I love just touching that and thinking back to these little kids sliding down that long banister. Sometimes I want to do it.
You have to at least once, right?
Wax it up good.
The Jim Thorpe Victorian Home and Garden Tour celebrates this historic Carbon County town. It was founded in 1818 and built during the Industrial Revolution.
Coal mine bosses, the railroad bosses, and it's also the county seat. So you had a lot of money concentrated in this town. The people, the bosses could live here, and they didn't have to contend with the noise and the dirt of the actual coal mine operations, but it was not very far away.
The tour will be held from noon to 5, September 27th, which is a Sunday. Tickets can be pre-purchased online at mockchunkvictorians.com, at the Dimmick Library, at the Mock Chunk Museum during regular business hours. There's so much history here, and people walk by and they never really get an opportunity to see the doors open. So this is a terrific opportunity.
Are they all within walking distance from
Absolutely.
each other?
Park your car once and then hoof it from there. They're all very close together. They'll be identified with a red flag in front of each one.
Our last stop on the tour is the Stevenson House.
And we found our good friend Bob Stevenson, and you're all decked out in Victorian garb.
And I'm just getting ready for the tour today. This home was built basically back in the 1850s, but it's a Second Empire French Renaissance house on Millionaire's Row. The room that we're in now was my father-in-law's doctor's office for almost 50 years, from 1948 until he died in 1992, and it was subdivided into 5 little rooms. The ceilings here are about 12 feet high. The floor is quarter sawn oak, and I understand from our neighbor Ben Walbert that that was not put in until about the turn of the century, about 1900, and it was preserved by the fact that the office was covered in large linoleum squares. So when we took the linoleum off and sanded the floor, the flooring people were just amazed at what they found underneath there.
The ceiling in the dining room is chamfered, is the term, and that ceiling is original. to the 1860s, which just blows your mind, doesn't it?
Yes,
Really
absolutely.
Well, I feel very fortunate to live here, and I feel honored to be able to pay some honor to the past residents of the home.
It was lots of fun getting a sneak peek into some of the homes that are part of the Jim Thorpe Victorian Home and Garden Tour.
Good news, we have 2 pairs of passes to give away. Just go to our Facebook page, like the correct photo in our September album, and let us know which Victorian home you can't wait to tour.
And it's all about the nose. Not our nose, your dog's nose. Find out more next on Talk of the Town.
If you're looking to spend more time with your 4-legged friend, do we have an idea for you?
There's a club that allows your buddy to use its best instincts.
We had never heard of it before. It's called Pocono Nosework.
They learn a target odor, and then we place that target odor in various environments, and they learn to go and find it. So it is a game of hide and seek for the dogs. We're trying to create a working dog mentality. It's not doggy daycare when you're coming to do nose work.
You may be saying that sounds like a drug-sniffing dog. Pocono Nosework dogs are trained with many of the same techniques, but they track legal substances.
We are not asking our dogs to find marijuana or cocaine, and they are not a search and rescue dog. They're not going to go out in the woods and find some stranded child out in the woods.
So what kind of scents are they looking for?
So the first scent that they learn is birch, which is, most people think of as like a wintergreen kind of smell. There's anise, which everybody knows is kind of like a licorice smell, and clove, which to me is Christmas. Christmas ham. That's, so there's that smell as well. So those are the 3 competition odors.
We met Carol and her Nosework students at Camp Papillion near Snydersville.
They recently bought this. It was formerly known as Camp Brainerd, and they want to turn this place into an animal shelter. So they were really gracious to let us play here today, which we really want to thank them for. And we'd like to ask people to go to their website. They are trying to raise funds so they can build their first animal shelter. It's very exciting.
Nosework training starts with sniffing out treats.
So what we want to see out of these dogs is that they're ignoring their handler and they're just looking and looking and looking. And our promise to these dogs that if you look, you're going to find something.
And she's finding treats,
and
right?
she's just finding food right now. We also are teaching them high and low searches. So you see there's 2 boxes stacked up high.
Did she think something was in there? Something was going to get her.
I wasn't sure what was in there. And it does teach them to be, so she's very determined. So she's concerned but determined.
Right.
And what we want her, and so it's just a cardboard box, so we're just wanting her to know that it's okay. And there she stumbled upon the one.
Wait a minute, missed it.
He didn't really lead her to the box, but he's providing emotion, keeping her in the search area and saying, if you stay in here, you're going to find one more. Any dog can do it. Any dog's nose is better than the human nose. So that's why this is created, that any dog can play this game.
Even dogs who don't get along well with other dogs. They work one at a time. In this exercise, they find which box has the scent of birch.
Ava, search. Well, for me, because she is reactive, it's very limited on what sports she can do. I wanted to do something with her because she is energetic and she loves doing stuff. And I wanted a sport or an activity for myself where I didn't leave her at home and come home to an energetic dog that's bored. So I thought, well, what can we do together?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So this is an exterior hide placement. So the dogs are having to learn to search outside, which has a lot of distractions.
Alert.
Yes.
He cannot play with other dogs. I rescued him. He's almost 9, so we got him when he was a puppy. He gets along with my other dog, but he's just could never interact, and this is something that he can do, and he has a little job, and he's good at it.
Attaboy, good boy.
Yeah. Were you watching the other guys?
I know. He looked like he knew exactly. He was like, oh, Cora told me on the way out, hey, check out the log.
Echo likes to run.
They upgrade from cardboard boxes to luggage ultimately. Luggage, as you can imagine, is different fabrics, which makes it more difficult to smell.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I've had 4 German Shepherds. This is my 5th, and I never knew that there was something like this I could do with my dog. I mean, it was like obedience, then what do you do with your dog except play ball?
He didn't give what they call an indication. Yes, that's a strong indication.
When you knock it over.
Right. That's a strong indication.
Find it.
Cody's got to shake it off.
I always call him my little undog because he doesn't fetch, he doesn't really play, he kind of will come up to you when he wants to be petted, so you know, this was something to give him a little bit of a life.
Do you see this changing him in any way as far as confidence?
Oh my gosh, huge, huge. He plays fetch now, like he comes up, I can pet him, he'll go up to other people now, whereas before he wouldn't approach them.
Yes.
Even a tail wag.
Feed him a couple pieces because that was very nice.
Very good.
Now Cody has to find another one, and he has a hard time leaving the one that they've been told to hang out. So she'll put him on leash to get him to move more. So you see how he keeps going to the coffee table?
He wants to go back because you get more treats.
Right. So this is kind of advanced level work to get him to move off of one and go to another. Mm-hmm. So she's kind of training him to go find another hide as opposed to just finding one in the room.
He's very low key. He's very subtle with his indications, but he's starting to wag his tail and look at me. Like before it was literally like an eyeball roll. He'd be like, and just like look up, and now he started to he turns his head and his tail starts to wag, which is huge for him.
Alert?
Yes, beautiful.
So you're pretty confident that your dog's going to do well today?
I hope so.
Do you know what exactly you're doing today?
Yeah, I know she showed us the different stuff yet, but we don't know like the hides and stuff.
Well, you might tell your dog.
Oh yeah, can't tell her.
Can't tell her.
Yeah, she'll find it. Alert?
Yes.
It's team bonding between you and your dog, and the dog will look for you for support if they're having difficulty. And sometimes in interior spaces, if they find the one and hide, if there's more than one hide, they will get hung up on that, and then you have to put them back on leash to get them back and focused. I want to say work on that, right there.
Yeah, very good.
Can you see when she's proud of herself?
Oh yeah, especially in interior, she does like a little dance.
Yes. Alert. Oh well, you didn't wait.
Because he found the other one. Go over there and feed him. He's like, I knew.
He just took to it. I mean, it was like he loves food, so this is like a real drive. And he's a German Shepherd. He's a working breed, so he needs a job. This is his job. You know, so many dogs get in trouble because they just, you know, here they are, a cute puppy, and then they're bored. Yeah. And so he's bonded to me like no other dog.
Do you have to be a dog that is well behaved and, you know, a good listener to do this kind of a thing?
That's why dogs love this sport too. There is no obedience, no skills are required in order to do this. So a well-mannered dog can certainly do this sport, but a dog that maybe didn't do so well in obedience class can absolutely do this sport. No obedience skills are required.
Oh my gosh, please do it, try it. I mean, you don't have to be anything but have a pair of shoes and a desire to be with your dog and have fun. Oh, it's the best.
You can get involved with Canine Nosework. Just hit their website to find a class near you.
Carol is giving one lucky viewer and their dog a free private Pocono Nosework session. Just like the proper photo in our September album on Facebook and tell us what you learned about nosework for a chance to win.
Stick around. Next, we'll show you how taking a motorcycle ride can make dreams come true. It's the perfect time of the year for a motorcycle ride.
Or to get involved with the United Dream Ride.
United, cars, trucks, bikes, united together, everybody. Dream, obviously dream come true. And ride, it just all fell together. It sounded good, it felt good.
Hundreds of motorcycles and even some cars and trucks will be revving up their engines on September 26th for the 3rd annual United Dream Ride.
The ride is going to begin in our post, which is the American Legion Post 927 in Gilbert, right off of Fairground Road. And we'll be going up to the Pocono Raceway. And then after doing a few laps around the raceway, then we will end the ride down at the Oktoberfest location in Carbon County.
If you'd like to be part of the ride, come out to the registration September 26th, Saturday morning, American Legion, Post 927. Registration will be there till 10:45. There will be a donation breakfast there. We will have some vendors there. We will have music by Slam and Jams, and it's just a fun time.
The best part? All the money goes to Dream Come True. Since 1985, the charity has focused on just one thing: helping children.
Dream Come True is it's a nonprofit organization that helps families with seriously, chronically and terminally ill children have their dreams filled, whether it's a vacation or it's an item they want, something they want to do. We're here to help them through maybe a tough period.
All children have dreams.
But for kids battling serious illnesses, a ride like this could help their dreams come true.
We try and do anything and everything a child could want, and there aren't too many things we haven't been able to do. But we've done celebrities, Dream Playhouse, sports events.
By far, the most popular dream request is a trip to Disney World. Aaron Whitney and his family recently paid a visit to Florida. He loved riding all the roller coasters, and he kept track of every Disney princess he met.
Which of the princesses did you see?
Oh, 1, 2, 3. Belle?
Oh, Belle?
Oh, yes. I've always known that there was Dream Come True. I've just always known that. Just never thought I would have a son that would need that. We went to Disney, and it was the best thing for Aaron and his brother. And just to have a nice vacation for the 4 of us.
There is never a cost to a Dream Come True family, and the Dream Makers like to pull out all the stops for each request.
For instance, this Dream Playhouse I worked on, the girl wanted to go to Disney, and then she eventually wrote me a letter and said, I changed my mind, I want a Dream Playhouse. So I talked to the Carbon Builders, and the community just jumped in and helped me in every way we could. Eventually had this thing appraised at $35,000, and it cost us a little over $5,000. So when somebody donates $1, we get a heck of a lot more out of it than $1.
When the families meet us, it's not just the 1 or 2 people that are involved in making a dream come true. There's literally hundreds of people that are behind us, and this Blue Ridge area, there's a lot of community support, and it's really terrific. People never turn us away. They're always there to help.
That volunteer community support is fueling this year's United Dream Ride.
Well, we're veterans and we help each other out, and in this case we also help out the local community. And this is one where we can give back to our local community for the kids, the families, and help them get over a significant hurdle in their lives.
My daughter passed away 3 days before 9/11, Emily, and it's her energy that brought this ride together. She was 2 months old, and she never got to experience a dream, obviously, but I know what it was like for that 2 months, for the parents. I enjoy helping Dream Come True because I understand where the parents are. To have those special children that don't know what tomorrow is going to bring, or are battling challenges every day just to enjoy their time together and build memories. If I can help enhance their lives in any way through Dream Come True, I want to do it.
As organizers gear up for the United Dream Ride, they're hoping to raise thousands of dollars, and they're looking forward to a day on the open road.
We're going to ride up through the Pocono Mountains. Nice trip.
For me, I get up on top of a ridge, I look in the mirrors, I see a string of motorcycles 5 miles back. It's just awesome. I love it.
It's very rewarding, not just because for veterans as far as being part of the Legion, but for the fact that it's great to make a kid's dream come true, especially with all the challenges that they go through, and to be a part of a community that helps to make it happen is pretty much says it all.
Katie Grohatolski has battled numerous medical issues, so her trip to Disney really was a dream come true, and it started before she left the driveway.
Pink limo take me up at my aunt's house.
Pink limo.
Well, her dream was to go to Disney, and when the pink limo said "Girls on the Go" came, she was thrilled. That was the highlight there till she got to Disney. Yeah. And then she just loved everything. And then they could come back and swim and go back to the park, and they did a lot of things. So yeah, it was great.
Emily Brong just selected her dream. She's counting down the days till her trip to Disney.
3 months? 3 months?
Cool. She's counting down.
Yeah, she's got the countdown going.
Very cool. How wonderful is it that there's an organization like Dream Come True to help make this happen?
Oh, it's wonderful. Actually, we're the type who always volunteered for everything else, and we're very active in volunteering, and you never think the day will come when somebody will give to you, and it's extremely, extremely kind of them and everything they've done for us.
Emily, how excited are you to go to Disney?
Very much. A few more months, right?
3 months.
I guess it gives the families who are faced with these struggles every day something to look forward to, something, and I think volunteers are there to let people know that there are other people out there who care, that there are people that are willing to make a difference in their lives.
For more information on the United Dream Ride, visit CarbonCountyOktoberfest.com. And to find out more about the Dream Come True Blue Ridge chapter, visit dreamcometrue-brc.org.
Big hearts make big things happen.
Don't miss this year's United Dream Ride.
September 26th.
The kids are back to school and high school football season is underway.
Marching bands have been practicing hard and are proud to be performing their new shows.
We visited Pocono Mountain West High School to find out just how much work and organization goes into creating a performance.
Well, we have students from 8th grade through 12th. There are 55 students from the junior high and the high school. We have students who are 6 or 7 year veterans for playing their instruments and maybe just have started a year ago or so. So we have some young musicians as well.
They started practicing we do Wednesday nights in July. So we do 6 to 9 at night, once a week from July on. And then we started our band camp last week, which is 9 to 5.
That's like 2-a-days, right? That's what I heard.
Yeah, yep.
The drums are there. They have the responsibility of listening back, and we have the responsibility of keeping that tempo steady. When we haven't practiced the piece enough, the tempo's kind of push and shove, and that's probably one of the hardest things, especially on the field with how far apart people are.
Do you ever have to remind them, hey, you guys, you got to listen to us?
Yeah, a lot.
Because sometimes they just take off and they want to keep on going.
Yeah.
But you're holding down the fort. Right?
Yeah.
You go under the sticks, like right here, but you don't, it's just with these 3 fingers, don't use these fingers.
Okay.
And then you grab onto it, mostly with the back too, right here.
Fingers, yeah.
And then you let your thumbs rest like right here, wrap this one around, and then it's gonna be in front of like the first knuckle right here.
Okay.
And then turn this way.
This is complicated. We haven't even played a note yet.
But you're
Yeah,
poking.
but so far we're
I'm poking.
Yeah, you're poking.
I'm poking.
Like this. You gotta go like this. Wrist down.
Oh.
And then try to hit a C.
Did I hit a C or did I hit the D?
And you have to bounce back up.
Bounce back up.
Yeah.
Just, yeah, however you want to do it.
Ooh, I missed. Wow, you have to be accurate too.
Yay!
Sort of a little bit, but I'll allow it.
I also cheated with using the same one a few times.
Oh, I used
And
the
then
same
going
one
back.
a few times too.
So just one little thing that shows you just one little piece of the whole band and how complicated one little
Yeah.
piece of it is. Wow.
But
Thank
you guys sound great without us.
a lot better without us.
I am really looking forward to this football season. We have improved so much since last year, and you can see it with the students, how much they've improved and how excited they are as well.
Well, we're loud, and most of the time we need to be soft, and it's a pretty good section. We do a lot.
So when you practice on your own like this, just your section, you can be loud, right? But when you get in with the band, things have to change a little bit?
Yeah, the dynamics have to change. We have to work a little bit more harder to blend with the band, the entire band, because we're the loudest.
It is pretty heavy.
Okay.
Do you ever feel like you're gonna fall backwards?
Well, when the wind is blowing, yes.
Like that. Woohoo! All right, I don't even know what to begin to do with this. Honestly.
Why did you decide you wanted to play the tuba?
I didn't decide to play. Miss Benson did.
She said you're tall, you could handle it.
And I'm excited because it's a really small section. It's never been this small, our trumpets. It's usually like 8 trumpets, and we have 4, but we're sounding good. We're so small, and we're supposed to be like loud. We sound big by ourselves, but when we're out there, like there's so many other bigger instruments and louder, and we just have to push, keep pushing.
Probably the most challenging part would be staying in time, and since the music is in such a weird meter, instead of having 4 beats per every bar, we have 5 at some points, and also we have a strange syncopated pattern later on in the show.
So I know you guys practice an awful lot. Do you kind of hear this stuff in your dreams?
Yeah, I have many dreams about marching band here and there.
And 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1, 2, 3, 4. A challenge is definitely wind.
Which we have today.
Yeah, we have a little bit of wind today. A different challenge we have, which is exciting for me, but a little harder for the guard, is almost all of them are new. We only have 1 or 2 of us that have been doing it for a couple years. Everyone else, this is their first time picking it up. This is the first time with flags, with marching, with everything. And they're getting asked a lot this year. What they're doing isn't easy, but they're picking it up really, really well, and I couldn't be more happy with them.
Someone said earlier that one of their fears is getting hit by a flag.
It doesn't hurt that bad.
This year we wanted to do something that we thought maybe the crowd could relate more with. Decided that we wanted to set a scene, and then it was okay, what scene do we want to set, and we came up with Shipwrecked.
First, they have to master the music.
And once that's done, it's time to add the motion, rain or shine.
Dax, move over 5 yards.
It's hard to put it together. It takes a long time. The kids work extremely hard.
It gets much more difficult because no longer are you sitting but now you have to make sure that your feet are in time, that your instrument is in tune, because when you step outside, it's a whole different climate than inside. So you always have to be listening. You also have to watch from a farther distance, because inside, the drum major is right in front of you. But outside, the drum major could be like 20 yards back.
Well, our drill is written very intricately, so if a student is out of place by even a step or two, they can risk a collision.
The marching, we try not to kill each other. Like, we don't want to bump into each other. It's a pretty hard task to do.
I saw that some of the tubas have like some dents on the back of them. Is that?
Yeah.
Practice accidents?
There might be some more accidents there.
It's just a matter of repetition, getting the kids to do it a whole bunch of times.
I think it comes naturally. It's with the music, you just go. And
You feel like you want to move.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you ever worry about running into each other?
Yes, all the time, especially with the guard people. Can't get hit by the flag. It's scary.
I guess you're close to the flags.
Yes, all the time. It's freshman year.
They sound fabulous in the band room, and then they look great on the field, and then you start putting the marching and the playing together. That's where the challenges arise, and then the magic happens.
So head out to your local high school football game this fall and check out the show your local high school band is preparing.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Pocono Mountain West High School Marching Band.
Whatever you do, be the talk of the town.
And we'll do something. We'll do something like can't go to an alpaca farm without helping to clean up or something. Yeah, thanks for.
Did you guys see that?
Yes.